Hello everyone and welcome to From the Heart Friday with me, Jessica Brigden of JessBCreativeCardiology. Hello, hello. Happy Friday to you. It is a wet one here in New York. Excuse me, a little frog in my throat. And we have been receiving a ton of rain all day long. It's the remnants of that Hurricane Debbie that's been moved up the coast and right here through central New York. So as soon as we think it's done raining, it rains some more. Our pool is this close to overflowing, so it's been a little bit crazy today. Good day to stay inside and do some crafting, although it is quite damp, so I do have the windows open to try to keep things cool, but hopefully my paper won't be too uncooperative, right? Because dampness and paper doesn't mix real well. But I have everything pre-cut. Today I'm going to be sharing two amazing wow fun fold cards with you today. I'm going to show the telescoping technique card, which is just like it sounds. It's a card that unfolds kind of like a telescope. And then because I got carried away with this amazing To Market Designer Series paper, I am also going to be showing you a double Z card with a fun little silver foil shopping cart that moves across the page. So great cards for you today. If you placed an order of $50 or more with me in July, then you will have received the card kits, the make and take packets, to follow along with these projects, as well as the tutorials to do so. All right, so incentive there for you to place your order with me each month, because then I will mail you the subsequent packets and tutorials and you can follow along. And I've got some great stuff planned for September's video, okay? All right, let me flip the camera. We're gonna go ahead and get started. And if you're here watching along, leave me a comment and let me know where you're from, and hopefully you're staying warm and dry. Alrighty, let's get started here. Okay, a little flip around quick. All right, so officially through our first week of August. Let me get my lights turned on and everything ready to go. Okay, so during July we had a promotion where Stampin' Up! Awarded bonus days coupons for every $50 order as well. So if you earned any of those coupons, now is the time to redeem them. Okay, my August host code is 9F4XDTXZ. All right, that associates your order with me as your demonstrator so that I can award you my goodies. Hi, Wendy. Hello, hello. Yes, doing well, staying dry so far. Just a lot of wind and rain and some debris around the yard, but nothing too serious immediately right here. Although friends and neighbors not too far away have had some severe flooding. So it's been kind of crazy all over the place. All right, so like I said, we've got a couple of really fun cards. The first one I'm going to share with you is called a telescoping card, and it folds up in this cute little shape so that it fits in your standard envelope. But then when you pull the ribbon, it unfolds, all right, just like that. So you've got 3 layers of circle, kind of like pulling out a telescope there. All right, and then you've got pretty decorations on both sides. All right, so a really fun project card for you. And if you haven't tried it, then I definitely encourage you to follow along. And then we'll also be making a double Z fold card, which I've been using Stampin' Up's To Market Designer Series paper, along with the Attention Shoppers bundle. And with this one, we get this fun little silver foil shopping cart that moves across the card as we open and close it. So I hope you enjoy these projects as well. Now, if you did place your order with me in August, then I have sent you an email with the links for these tutorials. And I do recommend that you might want to print these out, okay, especially the telescoping card, just so you can follow along. And then there is a 1-page tutorial here for the double Z card as well. Okay, both of these projects are using Stampin' Up's To Market designer series paper and the adhesive backed transparent dots here, okay? Paper is lots of fun. It has a whole farmer's market feel to it. And we've got fun bouquets of flowers and little baskets, and we've got plaids and vegetables galore, all right, and flowers and all kinds of good stuff. Tomatoes, all right, it's been a really fun paper pack to work with. Also part of Stampin' Up's Designer Series paper sale happening this month. So you can get this paper pack for just $10.52. And then I did pair this, rather than use the Market Goodness bundle, I actually paired it with the Attention Shoppers bundle on page 65. It's a cute little bundle. It's actually just $39.50 for both the stamps and the dies. And it has the dies for the shopping cart, which is just so adorable here. Okay, so I've really been enjoying this. You got your shopping cart. These are the wheels for the shopping cart. That's what that little piece is. And then of course you got the die cuts for the plants and the wine and the cake and the flowers and the gift bag. They're all in here. All right, super cute. So let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, hi Doris. Hello, hello. Glad you could make it. All right. Okay, so we're going to work with our telescoping card first. All right, so I have everything pre-cut in a little packet here. All right, this is how I prep my workshop packets. All right, so in here, in order to make this card, we need 6 circles. And so I have used the Spotlight on Nature dies for this, for all these circles. And really, this card looks more complicated than it is. Essentially, it's 6 circles connected by a piece of ribbon. So for our top layer, we have 2 small circles, and I cut them each one in a piece of basic white and then a piece of Designer Series paper for the backside. We're going to sandwich the ribbon between each of these layers. So we've got the stamping side and then we've got the Designer Series paper side. Okay, so 2 small circles. All right, 2 medium circles, and you can use whichever side of the Designer Series paper that you like. All right, now for the 3rd circle, we've got our cardstock, our Designer Series paper, but then I did a 2nd layer. I wanted an extra little focal point on here. Okay, so for the biggest layer, we have an extra circle. So technically we have 7 circles here. Okay, but like I said, I used the Spotlight on Nature dies for this so that we could cut out the circles, and that gives them a nice little decorative border on each one. Okay, each one has just a little bit of a different border on there, which is really cute. Okay, so before we glue any of these together, essentially we really should do our stamping first. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, is do the stamping first. Yes, so Doris, it could also be used as just a little banner that you can hang on your door. But how cool of a card, like a gift idea to send to somebody who then could hang it, you know, like above their desk or by their door, or, you know, just cute little decorative idea too. I mean, it's a little bit large for, say, an ornament or something, but definitely could be cute piece of home decor as well. And the great thing is it all folds up nicely and fits in a standard envelope. All right, so you can use any variety of papers and embellishments for any season. I had actually made a card like this. Goodness, I think it's probably been about 8 years. That's where I've like recalled the idea from. And I looked through some of my card stash today, hoping that I could find that card to share with you. And I found other cards from this series I had made, did not find that. I really had hoped I could find that for you. I do find that circles work best. Of course, you could do layering squares as well. There's nothing to say it has to be circles. The Spotlight on Nature dies are fantastic, but if you have, when I made the card previously, I used some of the Stampin' Up! Had the bigs, the Sizzix bigs dies, and I used a large scallop circle and then different sizes of circles from there. So really you could use whatever you have on hand. Okay, so like I said, hi Polly, hello. I'm using the Attention Shoppers bundle here for my stamped images and my sentiments. So I'm going to be using, I need some Blackberry Bliss ink for this. Did I get that out? I got every other color. I know I had some of it here close by. All right, it's hidden. I was using my Zinnia's designer series paper, and that also uses Blackberry Bliss. So that's where I had tucked that in from. All right, so Blackberry Bliss ink is all you're going to need for this project. And then if you do use this stamp set and want to color the images, then you'll use your Stampin' blends as well. But just one color of ink necessary for your main stamping. Okay, so I'm going to do Just For You as the top part because that is going to be the first thing somebody sees here when they receive this card and pull it out of the envelope. Okay, so we're going to stamp our Just For You. Everything's just a little bit sticky today because it's so damp. Even my hair is still wet from my shower early this morning. I've had it pulled up out of my face and I take it down and it looks like I just stepped out of the shower still. So it is just one of those days. Everything's just a little bit sticky. All right, I am going to clean these in between each stamp here because Blackberry Bliss is one of those inks that the photopolymer tends to pick up the color just a little bit. Okay, and I don't want it to be too stained, so just washing those quickly in between. So top layer, Just For You. You don't have to do thanks. You could do, you know, any other sentiment, you know, depending on what the occasion is. And then you could do a quote or, you know, anything that you want to do. But I like that shopping is always a good idea. That's always a fun one too. All right, you can hang that by your by the fridge or something like that. All right, so we'll just go ahead and stamp these up quick here. All right, for this middle one, I am doing it right in the center because when you fold this all up, I don't want the words like peeking out the edges. Okay, so I want it just right in the middle. And I think I'll leave that one, the middle one. Well, I don't know, maybe I will go ahead and put the thanks on there. Okay. Just so I can show you exactly how I did it here. Okay. All right, there we go. The nice thing about working with circles is if your sentiment is just a little bit crooked, you can just make a slight adjustment, right? And then it's straight. So, all right, clean these stamps real quick. So the stamping, that's it. The stamping portion for that main part of the cards there is done, okay? And so now that we've got that together, we can start working. And I'm actually going to work from the top down so that we make sure we have enough ribbon for our little loop, our pull tab at the top, okay? Hi, Nessa, hello. All right, so I've determined that working with this size circles and leaving about a 1/2 inch of ribbon here in between them, that you need approximately 12 to 13. I think I gave everybody in their packets 13 inches of ribbon, okay? If you have ribbon that's longer than that, you can always trim it off at the end, but you probably don't want anything shorter because you do want your ribbon to be able to flow through all 3 of these layers, okay? Now, just a quick tip when you are die cutting these. All right, I wonder what in the world did I do with my spotlight on nature dies so I could show you. All right, so cut the circle one, the blank, excuse me, can't talk today. Basic white first, and then I want this plaid, the Blackberry Bliss plaid, to be the back side. And if you do it just right, then the little detailed on here, they will actually line right up, okay? But the key to that is when you run your paper through, all right, Blackberry Bliss, you put your die on here, run it through, you're good. When it comes, if you want the flower side to match up, you're actually going to die cut, put your die down on the back side, all right? So you're gonna die cut from the back side or the wrong side of the paper that you want to use, okay? I hope that makes sense because that way they will match up perfectly. Okay, you're gonna do that for each one. You can actually see that there is a right side. See how smooth the right side is and then the wrong side, but you actually wanna cut from the wrong side so that it perfectly lines up here. All right, do you see how nicely that matches? Okay. All right, so again, working from the top. All right, and I want the plaid side to show on the back. All right, so I'm gonna put my adhesive, and I do recommend using either your Stampin' Seal or your Stampin' Seal Plus. You do want to use adhesive that's nice and strong. I don't necessarily recommend liquid glue because you don't want to accidentally pull your ribbon out. You want your ribbon to stay stuck. So I'm applying adhesive here to that first little circle, okay? And then we're gonna make a loop out of our ribbon. So take the end of your ribbon, all right, and stick that in about the middle of that circle, okay? And then create a loop. You want about like 3/4 of an inch to an inch, all right? Enough to maybe stick your pointer finger through. That's a good measurement. Okay, so you put the end of the ribbon onto the adhesive and then line that up. Okay, you can line it up straight or give it a little bit of a angle there. Okay, either one, doesn't matter. And then you're gonna straighten that out. Okay, you're gonna put a little bit more adhesive right over that ribbon. And then we are going to adhere the words right on top. Again, if you die cut the back, all right, from the wrong side, then it will line up perfectly and you'll have this nice little see-through detail all around the edge, okay? All right, and then you've got the tail. All right, so we got the top one essentially is done, and then we've got the tail. The middle part, okay, the mid-sized circle, this one is super easy, okay? Let me do a little more stamping. I'm gonna put my leaves on here first because you don't wanna try to stamp over any kind of bump, okay? So I can color it later, but I do wanna stamp this first, okay? And this middle layer is the only one that I directly, my other elements are put on with dimensionals. So I'm gonna stamp my little plants. I love this little plant stamp. It's the cutest thing ever. And if you caught my video from last week, I did this super cute little plant card, all right? Completely different look, but same stamp set here. All right, so stamped my plants. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take that middle circle, decide which color you like best, okay? Because that's gonna show through when it's all folded up. So decide if you want, I think, and your patterns might be slightly different than this. This one, I had one of these floral patterns. So I think for this card, I'm gonna go with the middle. I'm gonna go with the polka dots. All right, just so that I've got a little bit of difference here. Oops, it's all winging around on me. Okay, so with this one, I want the polka dots showing on the back. So I'm going to apply my adhesive here. This is gonna be the inside. All right, take your ribbon and like I said, leave yourself about 1/2 inch of space here between your circles. Okay, so just stretch that ribbon out over that die cut circle, about 1/2 inch of space. And then take your stamped basic white circle and layer that right on top. Okay, and then just press it. You don't want to, you know, smear it, smear the ink or anything. So just gently tap that into place. Okay, so 2 out of 3 are done and ready to go here. Okay, now for the bottom one. All right, because we've got plaid, we've got polka dots. So for the large circle, I want the bright floral to show. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to sandwich our ribbon between our designer series paper and our cardstock. And this one, it looks like I cut my ribbon extra long. And we really don't need it that long. I don't want the ribbon to hang out the bottom. I only want the ribbon to go to about the center. So I'm gonna trim off. If you find that's the case with you, go ahead and trim off any extra ribbon. But I believe for those of you who I mailed packets to, your ribbon was exactly like 12 or 13 inches. So you should be good, okay? So again, place your adhesive right here on the inside. Make sure you get it all over. All right, line your ribbon up. Again, you want about 1/2 inch, okay? There between those. That 1/2 inch gives you a little bit of flexibility here, okay? All right, so lay that all out. Then coordinate, match your, there we go. You can see, when you can totally see through the little die cut detailed areas, then you know you've got it lined up properly. Okay, and then again, just kind of burnish that a little bit to get the adhesive there between both sides. Okay, and then we've got just our little decorative piece there for that third circle. Okay, so if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments section for me. But I hope I've taken what sounds like and what even looks like a complicated card and simplified that for you, okay? I don't want you to be intimidated by these fun fold techniques. They're supposed to be fun, okay? All right, so look, it really didn't take that long. So with this project, the most time-consuming part is just die cutting all your circles. And honestly, if you're just making a couple of these, it's probably not going to take you very long. But I die cut a whole bunch. We use this as our team make and take project too. So, you know, when you're like die cutting 7 circles for 20 people, that takes a little while. All right, but just a couple, it goes quickly. Okay, so we've got our fun fold, and you can even give it a try, okay? So the bottom layer, then fold over the middle layer, okay, and then fold back the top, and you should be able to see the various colors and patterns showing through, and it looks like it lines up just right, so woohoo, it works. All right, and then the back side all comes together nicely. We've got our patterns showing. All right, success. Now the fun part of just decorating, okay, however you want to do this. All right, so I thought for this one, since it's kind of a gift, I'm going to do a little bouquet of flowers. Again, I'm just using Blackberry Bliss ink to go here with the To Market designer series paper that we're using. Okay. All right, so I've got, and I'm stamping these on some scrap because I am going to die cut it. But actually that's really the only thing I need to die cut is that that little bouquet. If you wanted to say, because I used a punch, I used a little flower trio punch for that. If you wanted to, well, you could always do like a bottle of wine or a gift basket or something, right? We could use those. Pull out those stamps just for playing around a little bit. Okay, so we got our, I'm saying that's a bottle of wine. It could be a bottle of sparkling water, okay? Be whatever you want it to be. All right, and then gift bag. I mean, the great thing about this is they are images that would be fairly simple to fussy cut, but it's nice. It's handy to have dies for these, okay? All right, so we've got those, and let's color them first, and then we'll die cut them. And I spaced them far enough apart that I can actually die cut them all at the same time, okay? So I'm gonna use my Stampin' blends. We used regular Blackberry Bliss classic water-based ink to do our stamping. And so I'm going to use Stampin' blends to color our images. And I've taken the colors from the paper pack. So we've got some Real Red, and of course our Blackberry Bliss. And oh, I'm missing another, but we have Pumpkin Pie. I've got pecan pie, and we do not have, well, the main green in this paper pack is garden green. We actually don't have a garden green set of Stampin' blends. We have shaded spruce, we've got old olive, we've got mossy meadow. I'm gonna go ahead and use, I've got the mossy, well, I've got a combo of old olive and mossy meadow here. All right, so we'll just use those. Okay, so when it comes to our little gift bag here, I decided the flowers were wrapped up in brown paper, so I'm going to outline the gift bag, the wrapping here with my dark. All right, that's generally what my technique for using Stampin' blends. Usually I outline with the dark and then color with the light. Okay, and while I've got my pecan here, I'm actually gonna do a little burlap stripe on my potted plants as well. Okay, all right, now for the flowers, let's do a mixture of blackberry, red, and pumpkin. I don't know what I did with my light pumpkin blend. Oh well, it must be in my pile somewhere. All right, so I am trying to space these out so I don't have, you know, exactly the same color right in between each one. I want a little bit of, you know, a little pop of color between them here. All right, so outline with the dark, and then we'll color in with the light. And then I do have, I think, a little bit of the shopping bag poking through here. So I'm just gonna use my light pecan for that. Okay, or you could fill it in with a little greenery if you wanted to. Okay, and then go in with the light colors. All right, light colors. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, pretty. Okay, so that one is ready to go. And for our wine bottle, I'm gonna go blackberry on that, okay? Because I'm gonna pretend it's a bottle of Cabernet or something, which I guess I could use the real red for, but I kind of like the purpley color of the Cabernet here. And then, let's see here. Well, we'll do a little, make a different label on it. All right, maybe I'll do the dark. All right, and then we'll just keep it light for the bottle. Okay, and then we'll use the pecan for the cork. Okay, and then for our gift bag, let's do, again, I'm gonna keep it the theme, let's do blackberry for our gift bag. And give that a fun color. All right, using circular motions, just blending all over. And yeah, I'll leave the tissue paper white. Okay, that works. And then for our plant, again, I'm gonna do a little blackberry on my pots. And then we'll use the mossy meadow on the plants themselves. Okay, so we'll come in, outline with the dark. Right, fun to do a little coloring on a rainy day here. And this card is starting to cheer anybody up. All right, super cute. Okay, so we're gonna die cut these real quick. All right, so I got my cut and emboss machine, lay this out here. We've got our different dies. Okay. Pull this in, try not to move my camera too much here while I'm doing that. And crank these through. All right, little snap, crackle, pop. Oh, that was a quiet one today. Okay, so I've got these all die cut. That was quick and easy. Okay, so put the dies back on the stamp case so I don't lose them. And then we just need some dimensionals for these elements here. All right, so when it comes to the flower, make sure you only put your dimensional on the portion of the card. Yeah, you could even put it directly there on the circle, okay? Because if you put it on the whole thing and it overlaps, then you'll stick your card shut. You don't want to do that, okay? So just make sure it's just there on the top part. This got a little crooked in my transition there, so I'm going to just trim this off a little bit. Okay, that looks better. All right, so we'll put one on here. Let's see. Treat yourself. How do I want to do this? Maybe I'll put my gift bag over here, and then my little bottle of wine up here on the left. Okay, All right, and maybe I'll forego the flowers. If you wanted to do the flowers, I use the trio, the Petal Park Builder Punch there, in which case you just need a little scrap of some Blackberry Bliss cardstock, or you could use remaining pieces of the Designer Series paper. And I just used the smallest of the little flower punch there, okay? Did a couple of those. So that's another alternative that you can use, a little punch or something, if you want to decorate it that way. All right, but then now you do have some little jewels, the little gems here. What do they call it? Transparent adhesive back dots. All right, such a long name for just pretty colored dots that you could decorate with if you'd like. But essentially, there we have it. We have our little telescoping card, okay? And that does kind of look cute. So I got my flowers, I got the little wine peeking out, a little gift bag over here. All right, so whatever paper and stamp sets you used, I mean, how cute would that be? This would even be cute for, say, like a baby card, baby shower or something. You could have little like onesie elements and baby themes, and then it would be something they could hang in the, like maybe in the baby's room, or you could do like a whole little office theme. You could even use photos on there, right? You could, and you don't have to limit it to 3, okay? You could do as many circles as you have sizes for. You could just fold it up more. Just be aware that 3 fits in an envelope pretty well, but the more layers you add, the bulkier it's gonna be. But you could die cut cute little photos, like photos of the kids or grandkids. So go to town with that. I would love to hear your comments of how you've chosen to use this telescoping card technique. All right, I hope you give it a try. It is super fun. And hi, Becky. Hello, hello. Glad to have you join us from Kentucky. All right, thank you, thank you. If you enjoyed this project, please make sure, send me some hearts. Lots of love. Don't forget to subscribe too. If you are new to my channel, love having you here. Make sure you subscribe and share it with your friends. Okay, so this was just one of the amazing technique cards that we are doing today. This was our telescoping card. All right, the other card I designed is called the Double Z card. All right, so typically this card with a little foam fold is, if it makes the Z, here we go, makes the Z shape, okay, that's why it's called a Z fold. And by adding this extra little strip across the middle, that's why it's called a double Z. We got 2, okay? All right, so this one, again, using that same paper pack. All right, this is the 2 Market Designer Series paper. All right, and so I've got all the little elements tucked here in my little packet. All right, so for this card, again, it's just a half sheet of cardstock, but rather than cut it at the 5.5, right? Let me grab a piece of paper so I can show you. All right, I got a loose piece here. So rather than cut it at the 5.5 mark on the long side, I turned it and cut it at the 4.25 mark on the short side, okay? So it's 4.25 by 11, okay? And then I'm gonna show you how to do it. So you could, I went ahead and scored this. Let me show you how to do it. You don't even need a fancy scoreboard or anything like that, okay? So you're going to take your 4.25 by 11. You're going to fold it in half from end to end, okay? So you're folding it there at the 5.5 inch mark. All right, so now your card's just folded in half. All right, then you're gonna take the outside, all right, take your top edge and fold that back to the fold line, okay? Just fold it back. So you've just folded that top layer right in half, all right? So however you do, if you're righty or lefty, okay, whichever way you wanna fold it. I hope I'm not confusing you by spinning it around here on the table. I guess if you do it, fold it from left to right, and then fold it back from right to left. And then when you look at it, you can actually see the Z. Okay, does that make sense? You can see the Z. So your paper is now divided into 3 parts, okay, with this top flap moving. All right, let's decorate. We're gonna just put a piece of basic white here on this larger section. All right, so for this basic white layer, you need a piece. Hi, Phyllis. Hello, hello. Glad to have you catch me. All right, so for this layer, this is just 4 by 5 1/4 for the basic white. Okay. All right, so we're gonna stick this on the large section. And then on this outside flap, because this is going to be the front, okay, so that outside flap, we're going to use pretty piece up to market. We're gonna use the field flowers on this one. All right, so each panel here, each section is now 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So for our designer series paper, we're gonna do 1/4 of an inch smaller. So we need 2 1/2 by 4. All right, and then just adhere whatever pretty side up, okay? All right, so 2 1/2 by 4. There you go. So there you have it. You have a Z fold card. Plain and simple, just like that. We're gonna kick it up a notch, okay? And we're going to take a 2-inch strip, 2 inches by 11 inch. All right, so just like our card base, this is the same length. It's just a little narrow, 2 inch by 11. Okay, and we're gonna do that same thing. We're gonna bring it end to end and fold it in half right there at the 5 1/2 inch mark. And then we're gonna bring that top edge, fold that down to the fold and score it again, okay? So if you were lining this up in your paper trimmer, okay, then on the 11-inch side, you're scoring at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4. Okay, it's the same score lines for both pieces. This is where it's a little different. For the top, for the decorative layer here across the top to get this look, we're gonna change it up. We're going to switch it, okay, so that the long piece is over the short sections, all right, and then the short pieces are over the long section. All right, I hope that makes sense. Let's put a little designer paper on it so that visually you can see what we're doing. Okay, so for this strip, for the long section, you want 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So a piece of 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. You could use the tomatoes if you want, but I'm just gonna go with the little green field there. Okay, so 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 for this piece of designer paper, and it goes here on this strip of garden green cardstock. Okay, then the next piece we're going to do, let me lay it out here for you, okay? So we're gonna take another piece, in which case I've got little piece here of the flowers, 1 3/4 by 2 1/2. All right, so 1 3/4 by 2 1/2 for this. This is going to go on the outer section. And then this middle piece, again, this basic white is 1 3/4 by 2 1/2 as well. And you could write a little message here. You could do a little stamping. Maybe I guess I'll do the treat yourself on this one. I'm gonna do my stamp. You could use the same Blackberry Bliss we used on the first card. I'm gonna do a little bit of garden green here. All right, and stamp that on there instead. Okay, so, all right, clean that off real quick. All right, so next thing we're going to do is, here's my tear and tape. Okay. So now you can see how this is going to lay over. So keep your card stretched out here. All right, this is going to adhere across the middle, but we're only going to put our adhesive on each end. We want this middle section to be able to fold. We don't want to glue it flat, okay? So flip it over. Strongest adhesive for this would be our tear and tape. Love tear and tape, comes in a whole spool. 154031 is the item number. This stuff's fantastic. You don't even need scissors. That's why they call it tear and tape. A little bit of adhesive on the end, tear it off. Okay, a little adhesive on the opposite end. Voila, tear it off. Okay, that's all you need. A little dab will do ya. Okay, so when it comes to tearing the tape, sometimes it's hard to get off. Grab your spatula tip here of your take your pick tool and just slide it. All right. See, it's even harder with your fingernails. So just use that little spatula. Get under that adhesive. Whew. All right, so much easier. Okay. All right, that's all you need. Now, flip it back over. Adhere it across the middle of your card. Okay, just lining up end to end. All right, now, when you go to fold your card, look what happens. How cool is that? Now you got your double Z. Okay, way cool. But we are going to add a fun little element. I just think this little shopping cart from the Attention Shoppers is absolutely adorable. Okay, and I've used some silver foil here for my little shopping cart elements. All right, in my last video, in Tuesday's video, I showed you how you could make your own die cut stickers. All right, so what I've done, I've taken Stampin' Up's adhesive sheets. All right, they come 6 by 12, 12 sheets to a pack, 152334. Okay, literally a pack will last you a long, long time because you can cut these down to size. So you take your adhesive sheet, cut it to the size you need, and then adhere it to the back of your cardstock or your silver foil, whatever it is you're doing. All right, you can see how I've done that. Adhered adhesive sheet to the black of this basic black cardstock, and then I die cut my intricate leaves and all of that good stuff, okay? So that is what I did here for my shopping cart elements. Okay, adhered the adhesive sheet to the silver foil, then ran it through my die cut machine. All right, we're gonna make sure we do the wheels first because you want to make sure the wheels are on, everything is just gets adhered to this little middle strip, okay? So great thing about that, when you flip it over, bend it back, look at that, peel it off, and you've already got the adhesive on there. You don't have to worry about glue mess or anything like that. Kind of find the middle here. Again, make sure your wheels are only on this strip. Okay, then we're gonna put our shopping cart, peel that off. Oops. Okay, the nice thing, it's sticky, but it's still repositionable. Okay, so we're going to place our shopping cart here. Again, when you press it down, make sure you're just doing on this middle strip. And actually, we're gonna pop this up just a little bit because I've taken the designer series paper here. There's this one green plaid pattern that has all of the bouquets of flowers. All right, you could fill your shopping cart. You could have a whole cart full of wine or plants or whatever you want to put in here, okay? But I've just gone ahead and used some of the designer series paper, and we're gonna fussy cut. We're not gonna be too fussy, okay? I'm not gonna get like super crazy about it. I'm just going around the outside edges here of the flowers and the leaves. All right, you don't have to get right in those little nitty-gritty crevices. It's totally up to you, okay? Some of you really enjoy fussy cutting. Others of you I know hate it. All right, so it's up to you. If you hate fussy cutting, then do a stamped die cut image in there. All right. But you can see this is really, it's not taking too long, okay? But I'm not being super fussy either. And you can see I'm turning my paper, not my scissors. That does help a little bit too. Okay. And then, you know what, for the ends, just do like they do when they when they feather your hair at the salon, right? Just kind of do some little angles in there. Okay. All right. So when it comes to this, I'm going to put just a touch of adhesive down here on my stem, but that's it. All right. Only on the stem because my flowers are going to extend, all right, beyond. Okay. So just gently lift up your basket just a little bit, enough to stick your flowers in here. All right. And put them in at an angle because you don't want your flowers sticking out the top of the card. If they stick out the top, then it's not going to fit in your envelope properly, okay? And you can see why we only put adhesive down there on the stems. This part needs to be free flowing so that the cart can drive across the page. All right? Is that just, it's just the cutest thing ever. All right? And then we've got our fun little dots here from the To Market collection. We could add a little, depending on what color flowers you have. We've got this opaque pearl. We've got some green in here, some of the blackberry, and then even some kind of yellowy green up there too. They're not real specific, so you can kind of mix and match them with whatever project and colors that you're working with here. All right, so just putting a couple little dots here on my project. There you go. All right, we have our double Z. Look how quick and easy that came together. All right, now if you're wondering where in the world do you write your message, all right, because your card is kind of interactive, you obviously can't write in this part because it would show, and you can't get there once you put your strip across. So for this, you could flip it over, put an extra piece of 4 by 5 1/4 white on the back side, and you could write your message back here, okay? So that, it makes it a fun fold, but you have to put your message on the back, okay? All right, well, let me know what you think of today's projects, and if you are part of my Just Be Creative Cardiology Facebook group, okay, I will link that in the video description again. But if you make these projects, I would love to see your interpretation, okay? I would love for you to share those with us, and you can post those projects in my Just Be Creative Cardiology Stampers group. All right, so I'll put a link for that. Again, if you had placed an order with me and to get your project kits, all right, please check your email, and in there you will find links for the tutorials so that you could print those out to work along with us, all right, if you need be. All right, and if you're wondering how do you get a make and take packet and the tutorials, well, use my host code here. All right, place an order of $50 or more with me during the month of August, and I will send you my next set of fun fold cards, all right, for our workshop in September. Okay, so you have all month to place an order and then get that corresponding workshop packet. Okay, so there you have it. So we had our telescoping card and our double Z card today, featuring the Attention Shoppers bundle and the To Market Designer Series paper. I hope you've enjoyed these projects. Have lots of fun. If you're looking for a way to get your hands on all of these amazing Designer Series papers, but yeah, maybe you can't quite justify purchasing all of them, I do have a solution for you. I am offering a paper share, in which case you get a 6x6 square of every pattern of designer series paper. Okay, there's 14 different paper packs that are included here in the designer series paper sale. They are all on sale for $10.62. That's a 15% savings. And I'm offering a paper share, all right, for those. The link for that is also in the video description. You get 168 pieces of 6x6 designer series paper. And I believe with shipping there, it's $55, okay? The PayPal link, all of that is right there in the video description. If you have any questions at all, please message me, all right? I hope you've enjoyed these. Again, like, give me hearts, subscribe, all of that wonderful stuff, and then join me again on Tuesday, all right? Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern. And I look forward to stamping with you again soon. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.